This is action coming away from Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco between the Bombers and the Red Devils on this Bay Bomber Roller Derby Network. Score is 22-18. The Red Devils lead. Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer alongside the track, and Bob Woodward is explaining to one of the officials that he only gave her a gentle shove. Gentle shove or not, I think there should have been a point awarded on the play and a possible fine. Nothing has been chalked up yet, Jerry, and you hate to come on the air with a complaint.
Well, these two have been going at it, and of course roller derby has been the one game where both men and women have competed around a rather equal basis, so it's not too surprising in this, especially in this day and age, that we get men going against the women and vice versa.
There you see they've chalked up that extra point. Not a half a point, but a full one. It's 19 for the Bombers. At the other end, Laszlo and Saunders. Now Laszlo's after Calvello. Laszlo draws a penalty, I know. I don't know about Calvello or Saunders or who started it, but Laszlo was finishing the job.
Well, I want to mention the fans watching on the Pioneer Network. In a few weeks, you're going to see the Pioneers playing these Red Devils right here on the station. You're also going to see them live Sunday, June 10th in Chicago, as the Pioneers have their final series of the season. It's with the Red Devils, a big match race for that game between Ann Calvello and Joan Weston. June 13th in Hammond, June 17th Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, June 19th Chattanooga, and June 20th at Knoxville Coliseum. June 22nd, University of Notre Dame in South Bend, Indiana, the Pioneers and Red Devils.
22-19 is the score. The Red Devils lead, and we're going on the track with about 1, 2, 3, 4 skaters from each team. That was Carol Penis-Meyer with a nice block, dumping Catherine Shaw. The lead jammer is Penis-Meyer, being chased now by Marcia Gibbs. Here, Marcia, from soap opera. Here we go. Out there blocking Linda Antonio. Oh, Carol Meyer in scoring position. There's Ann Calvello and Rosetta Saunders to block. Remember, Marge Laszlo was in the penalty box. And they're double teaming Carol Myers. Look at Calvello with that backward kick. Here comes Catherine Shaw, who goes by Debbie Cho for a point. Debbie Cho was trying to get around Saunders and Calvello to help the teammate, and she was passed in the process. Oh, here we go.
That's Rose Duran there coming after Debbie Cho.
There's Debbie Cho. Calvello never skates away from a pileup without getting in the last punch. There she is.
You know, it is conceivable some people are seeing Ann Calvello for the first time. Ann is almost 44 years old. She admits to it proudly. She skated for over 25 years. And I advise you to watch next week because her hair is liable to be red or green or polka dotted or... I don't know, Walt. You were talking to her earlier. Did you ask her about her hair?
You don't get a chance to ask her about anything, Jerry. She sort of takes over and monopolizes the conversation.
I know yeah, well, she is fantastic, and this rest this past season has done her well. She looks better than skaters half her age.
23-19 is the score. 1 point on that play by the Red Devils. They got the lead jammer again, Rose Duran. 15, Kathy Pulliam, 31 in pursuit. Laszlo back on the track. And the penalty box is Debbie Cho of the Bombers. And the Red Devils didn't draw a penalty in that play. They get off pretty good in that exchange. And Duran working on Pulliam. Grabbing the lead in the jam, Armida Ortiz, and Duran takes off after her now. From Rosa Pereira. Laszlo working on Calvello. Red Devils have the lead in the jam. They have to cut off the play. Well, that kills their threat. They had the two lead jammers, so the minute Calvello was dumped by Laszlo, her jammers had to cut off the play, or she would have been passed by the jammer coming up for the Bombers for a point. 2:27 to go here in the fifth period of play, first period in the last half.
A lot of people, Walt, want to know how to understand this game better, and of course the best way is to get a free copy of the rules. Put your name, address, city, zip code number, and the station on which you watch this event on a postcard or letter and send it to Rules, Post Office Box 1828, Oakland, California 94604, and you'll receive a free copy. And Walt, I know right at the end of this game you're going to be talking to infield coach Ken Monty, the all-time great of the Red Devils. Maybe he'll explain a few of the rules.
There'd be a third interpretation for the rules, Jerry. Here we go. 23-19 is the score. 1:48 to go in this period. Then we'll have the men on the track. That's Big Bob Woodbury and company against Charlie O'Connell and company. A wicked Pioneer, wicked Red Devil team. Grand whips out. Rosetta Saunders and Carol Penis-Meyer comes out of that pack like a cannonball in pursuit. There's Carol Meyer chasing Rosetta Saunders. There's the pack. There are the jammers. Jump block. underneath the jump block. Saunders on the deck is going to get a whip from Ken Monty. And the referee tries to cut him off too late. He gave her a whip to give her a little extra speed. Venus Meyer trying to score. Ann Calvello blocking. Debbie Cho trying to reach back and give Carol some help. Here comes Laszlo in the jam, and she takes Saunders out to make sure she doesn't become a threat. Venus Meyer tangled with Calvello. Debbie Cho trying to get her around, but this Calvello knows all the answers. She's hard to outfox her. Here comes Saunders. Way behind the pack, Saunders now, and they're working on it. This got to be penalties and points. They pull her by both of them. That's 2 points. If everything's legal, the officials haven't called anything, so they cannot deny 2 points there. They get 3. .21 is the time run out before she got the third one. We're going at it down there. Debbie Cho, and it must be the redhead, Rose Duran. Well, all I can see is that red hair flying in the air. 15 seconds to go in this period. .23-21 to score. Time's rapidly running out here in the fifth period. We'll move to the sixth period now. That is the end of the fifth period of play with the score. The Bay Area Bombers 21 and the Red Devils 23. Walt Harrison, Jerry Seltzer here at the track at Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. It's the sixth period getting underway in this game, the second period in the last half. The Red Devils and the Bombers. The Red Devils lead 23-21. Out on the jam is Alvin Mallory, 31 for the Bombers, being chased by Charlie Gibson, number 17 for the Red Devils. Up at the front of the pack, Bob Woodbury and Charlie O'Connell trying each other on for size. There, Woodbury ending up on the floor in that exchange, and his teammate Gibson had to cut off the jam. Wood and Mallory decks Gibson, or just sideswiped him a little bit, and Monty wants a penalty call. The official said no. Seaver wants a penalty called, and they're getting no satisfaction. Woodbury a little disgusted that time. He really went flying. He spun along the top of the rail, and over he went, Jerry.
You know, that's his style, though. He can look horrible and he can look awkward, but he lets himself go entirely, and he has to be a great contribution to that team. The Red Devils, of course, meeting the Pioneers, as we already said, in State Fairgrounds Coliseum in Indianapolis on June 23rd, back in Chicago for the final game of the season, June 24th. Flat River, Missouri, June 25th. Crown Point, Indiana on June 27th. And the series ends in Delphi, Indiana on June 28th. And remember, you're going to see the Pioneers and Red Devils on this station in a couple of weeks if you're watching on the Pioneer Network.
Tony Roman out on the jam, being pursued by Bob Johnson, number 14. Woodbury on the infield, working on his skates right now. Lead jammer still Tony Roman. Pete Boyd blocking through the pack and Charlie Gibson. JoJo Stafford tries to break it up. Pete Boyd's got him going, and here comes Roman. He goes by for the point. And Johnson takes a header across the fallen Charlie Gibson. So it's 1 point. Bombers, they have 22 in the scoreboard now. The Red Devils have 23.
This Red Devil men's squad is surprisingly strong with Gibson and JoJo Stafford and Alfonso Reyes, Bobby Seaver. Even when Bob Woodbury is out of there, they still have a great amount of strength.
JoJo Stafford has the pivot helmet on. He's a cagey veteran, that man. Here we go. Pete Boyd up front with Stafford. There they are, and there's the jammer, Bob Dansell on the inside, being chased by Alfonso Reyes, number 16. Bob Dansell, number 34. At the head of the pack, it's still Stafford and Pete Boyd. Stafford and Pete Boyd. There they are, down at the bottom of the street. Well, they moved out of there in a hurry like lightning. Gets the belt in there on Stafford. Alfonso Reyes slams Dansell into the rail, and that's a pretty good lead on the jam now. Stafford back to the block for him. Charlie O's back to number 40 for the Bombers. O'Connell to the block. Another block by O'Connell and Reyes. Monty and O'Connell are jawing each other all the time out there. Monty coaching in the infield for the Red Devils. Stafford jumping up and down in front of O'Connell. Didn't bother him a bit. Dansell coming up in the jam. Alfonso Reyes takes a look back there. Woodbury out of the infield. One skate on and one skate off is interfering with the play. That gives him 6 men. Now he goes back and sits down in the infield and continues to work on his skate. And I don't know what the officials are going to do about that. He didn't really make contact, but he certainly interfered with the play. There he is, innocently working on his skate out there, making some adjustments. I don't know what the officials are going to do, if anything.
Well, official Hugh Kettle was over signaling something at Woodbury, so
they might have fined him, Jerry.
I think they gave him either a team fine, not a team penalty, because they seem to have 5 skaters out there, or do they? No, they only have 4. No, they have 5. All right. Must have been a fine then, because he came over and he signaled at Woodbury, but we didn't hear any announcement.
They look kind of funny running around there with one skate on and one shoe off. That might be a new type of game, Jerry.
It's called the Diddle Diddle Dumpling My Son John game.
Here we go. Bobby Seaver on the jam, and Pete Boyd is after him. He takes him. Seaver stays on his skate zone. Bobby Seaver trying to take on the moving wall, Pete Boyd here. Seaver looking for an opening. That's a big, there he throws a leg up there. Ducks an elbow block. Bobby Seaver and Pete Boyd, just keep an eye. It's fireworks anytime. Seaver moves in front, Pete Boyd alongside. Hammers a block into Seaver. Seaver stays on his skate zone. Bobby Seaver knows all the hands. Stafford blocking on Pete Boyd. Down low elbow blocks in the midsection. Here comes Seaver now. Seaver puts a block in it. Shoves Pete Boyd to the infield. Right into the Bomber penalty box. Seaver on the jam. Charlie O'Connell blocking now. Pete Boyd down in the Bomber players area. 2-1. That's it. I don't think any score. No score. Pete Boyd was replaced by another skater on the track, as you can do for a skater that's injured. Officials trying to untangle him there on the rail before things get out of hand. Well, Jim Cook up there, Charlie O'Connell. Yes, Jerry?
Charlie, I was talking to him before the game. He feels his team is in great shape for that big Shea Stadium triple header next Saturday, that World Championship event that's going to be held in the East. Bombers fortunate, one of the 4 teams to go for this triple header. And as I mentioned before, I'm sure fans who are now watching perhaps in the Bay Area, planning to be in New York over Memorial Day weekend, are going to be sure and see this at Shea Stadium. And it's probably better to take a plane to New York and visit it than try and drive somewhere, because you might run out of gas. So change your plans. If you're going to the lake next weekend, forget about it. Fly to New York. See this triple header at Shea Stadium.
Jerry and I was talking to the man before the game is going to be there. It's here at Kezar tonight. Charlie O'Connell with a jammer Sullivan. Joe Stafford whipped out. Ken Money on the track, yelling at O'Connell, yelling at Stafford, saying, get the lead and cut it off. Don't let O'Connell have a chance to score. O'Connell cuts him off. He goes right, almost into Monty. O'Connell slammed him. Monty running across the infield, yelling at Charlie O. Boy, he almost put Stafford right in his lap. Here's the rip. Charlie O on the loose. Screaming to the referees.
He is saying that Charlie used his hands and coming across and shouldn't get any points, but they're not listening to him, and he may get thrown out.
Woodbury going after Charlie O. Look out. Let's get on once you are. Oh, man. That Woodbury is something to behold out there. Charlie on the loose that time, blasted through there. The Bombers have the lead. I'll tell you, our director, George Lum, and our cameraman, Ed Watkins, Larry Landis, doing a fantastic job of bringing you all the action on Ernie Fields. Oh, man. Jerry, at times like that, I want to be on the stand just watching it.
That's something. But if you'd like to see that great new newspaper, 24 issues a year, Roller Derby Illustrated, you can get a free copy by writing to Roller Derby Illustrated, Box 17, General Post Office, New York, New York. It comes out 24 times a year. If you'd like to subscribe, it's $6 for 1 year. It's a great paper. And Rob, for the next game, of course, I'm sure Bob Woodbury is going to have his skate fixed, as I'm sure he will be by the last period. But, you know, Dolores Tucker is also out this game for the Bombers. She rejoins tomorrow for the game in San Jose. And O'Connell was taking advantage of the fact that Woodbury was out of that pack.
Woodbury's trying to get that skate fixed and try and stay in the game at the same time. He's working out there feverishly on that skate. Every once in a while, things get caught up with him. He just comes tearing out on the track. James Paul has already caught the back of the jam. Leg blocking there by Stafford. Elbow block. Paul does a header. Bobby Seaver, the leader in the jam, 13. Gil Orozco blocked by Stafford. Seaver coming up, trying to take advantage of it now. Across the track on the infield goes Orozco. Oh, boy, this is a tempo tremendous in this game. 1 point in there by the Red Devils. They have 24 on the scoreboard now. The Bombers have 25. Seaver. Orozco trying to get at Seaver. And this is really something here. This Red Devil club. The Bombers. There's Monty as Connell shoves Monty through the benches. The chairs. Woodbury grabs the Connell. Connell's helmet's got a big dent in it now. Monty came up, but O'Connell shoved both skates into him. Here we go. So I can't see it all. Alfonso Reyes getting some licks in there. Pete Boyd's in there.
And Woodbury goes back to fix his skate. And he started the whole thing. I think
right now.
You know, I think Woodbury reminds you of the guy who goes in, starts the fight, socks somebody, sits down. You got 30 people out there fighting, and he's watching. And there he is over there fixing his skate.
Boy, oh boy, I tell you, we really got one going here. Earlier, Jerry and I talked to Pete Nistalk, the Highlands, New Jersey, who just competed in the World Wrist Wrestling Championships, where he's runner-up. He's heading back home to New Jersey, and he's going to be at Shea Stadium for that big one.
Well, I want to mention our fans in Phoenix at beautiful Arizona Coliseum. On Friday, August 31st, you're going to see the Bombers, 8 p.m. And in Tucson, the Tucson Community Center on September 1st, Saturday, 8 p.m. And, of course, both of those beautiful buildings are air-conditioned, so I guess you have to be in Arizona.
Charlie Gibson out there on the jam, and out with him is Bob Dansell of the Bombers, number 34. A strong Red Devil team. Dansell battering back on Charlie Gibson now. Hammering him in there. This is a big man. He's hard to take down. One more at the right time there. He had him off balance, and Gibson stays on his skates. Stafford blocks Dansell. O'Connell hits Gibson into the rail. Stafford is passed by Dansell for a point. Stafford grabs him. Boy, they're moving out there on this bank track. Jam's cut off, and they're still going at it. Monty yelling at O'Connell, blocked after the jam. I don't know who hit who there. There's Monty after O'Connell now. Now I know who hit who. Woodbury in there now. Slugging James Paul. Anybody? Now Jim Cook. No, anybody. Now O'Connell. That's up. Gets it from Woodbury again. Pete Boyd is down. Monty put in there. Oh, Pete Boyd's down the other way. It's another one getting it. Roscoe got it from Ken Monty. I don't know why we're going here, but boy, this Red Devil team. There are about 5 Bombers down, and there's another one. Pete Boyd getting it from Woodbury.
I guess he feels if he can't be on the track, at least he can try and keep the Bombers from scoring any points while he's not out there.
Well, that's the end. Woodbury's after Laszlo now, who's getting away from him. That's the end of the 6th period of play with the score. Pete Boyd has a Woodbury over the rail. Look out, Woodbury. Pete Boyd has him again. Look out. Stafford is after Pete Boyd. Oh, man. Moving wall. Oh, the fans are counting the punches. Fans are rolling with every punch. I think that one is over. And we have a new champion. That's the end. As I started to say a couple of times in the 6th period with the score. The Bay Area Bombers 27 and the Red Devils 24. It's Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer here at Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. The Bombers and Red Devils moving into the 7th period of play now. The Bombers leading 27-24 in a wild Donnybrook of a game. Out on the jam, Kathy Pulliam 31 and blocking her on the play. Number 11, I believe it is. Yes, it is number 11. Marcia Gibbs for the Red Devils. The Bombers have 4 skaters out there. The Red Devils have 4 skaters out there. That was the end of that period. Carry over into this period of play. Oh, Kathy Pulliam still with the lead in the jam. Number 31 moving here for the Bombers. This is the 7th period of exciting skating action. The greatest skaters in the world today in the bank track. That's what you see in the International Roller Derby League. This is the game that originated in Chicago in 1935. Played for packed houses all over the nation. All the major arenas. Calvello dumping Pulliam, moving up now to give her teammate Gibson help. Was being blocked out by Duet. Laszlo was blocked out by Calvello, who's passed for a point. More blocking in there and more points. I think three Red Devil points. That makes the score 27-27 now. Both clubs should be back at full strength for this next jam.
Well, talking about the top teams, of course, the Pioneers and Chiefs. Pioneers with Joan Weston and company, and the Chiefs, world champion defending with Mike Hammond, Judy McGuire, and all. The Chiefs are the next series in for the Bombers after this, and the Pioneers and Chiefs have a big Northwest tour coming up. July 23rd in Eureka, July 25th in Coos Bay, July 26th at the Portland, Oregon Memorial Coliseum, and that's kids' night up there. University of Puget Sound in Tacoma on July 27th, Bellingham at the new Ice Arena on July 28th, Hoquiam, Washington on July 30th, and the Seattle Center Arena in Seattle on July 31st.
Here we go with the action on the bank track. 27-27 to score. Out on the jam is Rose Duran, moving here for the Red Devils. Number 15 being chased by Armida Ortiz. Ortiz, number 36 of the Bombers. And they're hitting in that pack. They're hitting all around the track in this game. Tremendous one going here. These fans around the country are going to get a chance to see this Red Devil team in action. Well, they got some fireworks coming their way. Then a Villanueva, the 230-pounder, goes down here, and she's tripped over by Pulliam, and the jam cut off by the Red Devil jammer to keep her teammate from being passed for a point. So that makes the score remain at 27-27.
You know, when that Aloha Linda Villanueva, if I can ever say that right, when she falls, you better not be too close to her. Bob Woodbury is over explaining to her how dangerous it is for her to clog up the track.
You know, she just might reach out and clobber him. With her size. She might put him up here with us.
I think she outweighs him. I really do.
Here we go. Jammers at the rear of the pack. They'll have to work their way out of that pack, get by the lead skater to start the 60-second sticking off. It starts a jam. Then their job is to get around that track, catch up with the pack, and then for each member of the opposing team they pass, they get credit for a point. I run into people all the time and say, how do they score? It's that simple. The Jammers now have left the head of the pack. Once they get around and catch up with that pack, for each member they pass, they will get credit for a point. That's each member of the opposing team. Actually would be lapping, just like if you're in a mile run, you get out in front and catch up with the pack again, then as you pass the men, you're lapping. In this game, when you lap them, you get a point. It's that easy. Here we go, coming up on the pack. Rose Duran. Marcia Gibbs. Marge Laszlo back there, 38 blocking for the Bombers. Marge Laszlo covering a lot of track. This guy, a bomber in the rail, blocking in the pack by Calvello, paved the way for 2 points there. On the infield one goes, that's another 2 points. Another one, Calvello blocking in the pack, figuring Laszlo's too tough, has paved the way for 6 big points here. She went into the pack, slammed 2 skaters over the rail and 1 to the infield. 6 big points for the Red Devils, and they now lead the Bombers 33-27.
Continuing that Northwest tour of the Pioneers and the Chiefs, Spokane, Washington Coliseum on August 1st, Yakima, Washington on August 2nd, and Walla Walla, Washington on August 3rd. And of course, you fans who are watching in Reno, one big game up there this season, that's on June 28th, the Bombers and Chiefs in Reno at the Centennial Coliseum. Also, you fans watching in the Bay Area, if you like group rates for 25 or more at any game, or you'd like to bring Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, any kids group to a game, call tomorrow, 839-5609. Also, if you'd like to find out the location of the Bomber ticket office nearest you in the Bay Area, that's area code 415, call 839-5609.
I think our director, George Lum, likes Bob Woodbury because he keeps sneaking in those shots up when he's having a conference on the infield.
Probably his family's factory made his socks, and, you know, he has his shoes off now, and that's why he shows it to him.
Here we go on the jam. Kathy Pulliam out there with Catherine Shaw. That's Pulliam on the deck for the Bombers. Catherine Shaw moves away for the Red Devils, so they have the big threat going again here. Bombers right now have nobody out on this jam. Back there to block the rear of the pack is going to be Margie Laszlo again. Although Kathy Pulliam is still back there, and she's going to be passed for a point, I think. Looked a little wobbly there for a moment. She's recovering, though. Debbie Cho gets back there in time to protect Pulliam. Debbie Cho blocking now on Catherine Shaw. And then Shaw hits the deck. That'll use up some of the valuable scoring time. Shaw has to catch up again now. There's Debbie Cho waiting for Shaw. Hammers over the block. Hammers over another block. Another one in there. Carol Penis-Meyer not blocking, but showing Shaw and Debbie Cho how to do it there. Time runs out, but Calvello's in there with a semi-headlock on Debbie Cho. Carol Meyer gets in there. Saunders is in there. Look out. A knee in there by Saunders. And Shaw, now they're punching and kicking Carol Meyer and Debbie Cho. Let's see what the officials do here. Penalty on Catherine Shaw, and Saunders gets away with her knee blocks after the play had ended. I think that's the value of being on the outside the track. You can see more. No score on the play. It remains 33-27. 5:19 to go in this period.
I want to remind all you fans who are watching this game on the Pioneer Network, in a few weeks you'll see the Pioneers playing the Red Devils on this station, but the Pioneers have their final series of the season in June, and later on during one of the commercial breaks in this program, Walt's going to tell you information about the game in your area.
Here we go. More Red Devils out there, 5 Bombers. Let's see if they can take advantage of this. They trail by 6. Carol Penis-Meyer trying to break out of the back, but she's got company. Rose Duran. Also Linda Antonio for the Bombers, and number 11 Marcia gets to the Red Devils. So the Red Devils get the same amount of jammers out as the Bombers do, so there's no advantage out there right now. Rose Duran battling there, number 15, with Carol Penis-Meyer, number 37. They're pulling away from the other 10. Carol's got her going right now. Got her going. And there's another block in there. Over the rail and out on the floor she goes. They're pointing at Carol, one of the officials. I don't know why point. I mean, it's a penalty or it's not a penalty. It's that simple. Warnings don't mean a thing. She hasn't drawn a penalty because she's still jamming. Penis-Meyer in scoring position 37. And Calvello blocking number 13. Margie Laszlo trying to reach her teammate. Coming up, Marcia Gibbs in the jam for the Red Devil zone. Picked up as Carol by Calvello and dropped. Now she's being pointed at. There must be a penalty there in Calvello this time. She's decked as she runs into Laszlo's elbow. Let's see, 1 point Red Devils. It should be 1 point Bombers. Laszlo was passed up here and she was threatening Calvello that time. So it's 1 point each way, I believe. They pointed 1 point. There it goes now to the Red Devils. So it's 34-28. Keep an eye on the scoreboard, and they're a little late getting it up that time. It's 34-28, a point each way that time. And Calvello should be in the penalty box for 1 minute.
If you'd like to get a game scheduled in your area, you have a gym at a high school or college or an arena that seats more than 2,500 people, write to bookings, Post Office Box 1827, Oakland, California 94604. And we're booking now for next season. Why not have a game in your area? We're going to Notre Dame. We've played at University of Oregon. A lot of schools, colleges, even Dartmouth this winter, Walt. And there was a great game up there, and the students thoroughly enjoyed it. Sold out completely.
There we go on the jam. Catherine Shaw is out and moving. There are 5 Bombers out there, 4 Red Devils again, but the situation prevailed in the last jam, and that didn't help the Bombers any. Rita Ortiz out in the jam. There's the pack. They've got the pack now. Ortiz, 36 of the Bombers. Catherine Shaw, 16 of the Red Devils, being blocked out by Debbie Cho. And there's Saunders doing the blocking, and Ortiz of the Bombers. Debbie Cho really working over Catherine Shaw. Drew a warning there. Debbie Cho with another block. Another block by Debbie Cho. She's hammering there. There's Saunders blocking on Ortiz of the Bombers. Farther back is Debbie Cho. Ortiz coming off the rail, moving there. Again, she's hit by 18, Rosetta Saunders. And again, Debbie Cho with the long hair doing a fine. They're going to be points in there. They don't be careful. Nope. The blockers did the job. They pointed Debbie Cho. Did anybody point at Catherine Shaw? 1 point Red Devils. A penalty on Debbie Cho, nothing on Saunders. And it looked to me like they were both doing the same thing up there.
I was just about to say, I can't really believe how well this Debbie Cho has improved in one season. She has got the size to be a top skater. When she stands up next to Margie Laszlo, you can realize they're very close in size. She's a very, very strong young girl, of course, very, very pretty. But in spite of being pretty, she's a great skater. That doesn't sound right, does it, Will?
No. It's amazing, though. You know, I've had so many people tell me, gee, these girls must be tough. They must be ugly and everything else, but they're just as good looking as any girls anywhere. You must realize when you look at them right now, it's physical contact, and they're perspiring out there, and the hair isn't up. You see them dressed up, and they look just as womanly as any gal, and yet on skates, they can be tough. 35-28 off that point for the Red Devils on the penalty, and Debbie Cho ends up in the penalty box. Rosetta Saunders ended up in there too, but no point to the Bombers. So, figure that one out. Laszlo on the jam for the Bombers, number 38. He's the only one out. Both teams have 4 skaters. I think she should pass the 4 girls in the pack right now. She get credit for the 5th one that's in the penalty box. They're going to make up here. Red Devils are making a away. Durant in charge. Calvello protecting it. Calvello caught way behind now. Dumps Laszlo. Laszlo up and moving again. Immediately. Always going to put the skater down, but Laszlo went by Calvello. He has 2 points now. She's going to get a 3rd. She's going to get all 5. She does. A great big play for the Bombers. That's the end of the 7th period of play with a score. The Bay Area Bombers 33 and the Red Devils 35. Walt Harris and Jerry Seltzer here at Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, moving into the 8th period of play. The score of the Red Devils 35, the Bombers 33. The winner on the track, so keep an eye on the action. They've been exploding all over the place. Woodbury, his skates adjusted. He's back on the track. Throughout most of that 6th period. Now he's out there legally. Charlie Gibson chasing James Paul, who's out on the jam. Charlie O'Connell is not out there at the moment. James Paul passed by Charlie Gibson. Pete Boyd slams Woodbury into the rail there at the head of the back. Somebody's going to end up in the 4th row before they're finished. Gibson, 17 in scoring position for the Red Devils. He's got blocking. He's cut off and put down by Orozco, though. James Paul slammed into the rail by Bob Woodbury now, who's moving up to give Charlie Gibson some help. Gibson, 17, cut off by Orozco. Woodbury takes a shot on Orozco. Orozco gets away and puts Gibson down in the infield. The lead jammer now is James Paul. Woodbury on the infield, giving the players bench, trainers, table, everything is down. Orozco put him there. He was passed for a point. Then Orozco decked Charlie Gibson. And he is down. Everything went all over.
You know what? You cannot overestimate the value of Gil Orozco. He doesn't seem to be on the track, and yet the players you know say he's one of the most valuable ones on the Bomber team. He gets the jammers out to start a play, and when he has to block, when he has to fill in, he does a sensational job.
Well, that Bob Woodbury sure took a header across the trainer's table. Water containers and everything else he had just spread out all over the place. When you hit that infield, there's just no way of stopping yourself. You have to go till you run into something. That time it was the trainer's table. That's why often you see a skater hit in the infield. The next time you see him, he's hitting the rail on the other side of the track. He's hit that infield. There's no way. You just really are running loose. Bobby Seaver out on the jam, 13, and chasing him is Alvin Mallory, 31. O'Connell still taking a breather at the rear of the back. Orozco getting it now from Woodbury. Orozco getting it from Woodbury. Jam cut off by Mallory. Orozco still getting it from Woodbury. He gets it again. O'Connell trying to get at Woodbury. Officials get in between. O'Connell goes right by. Throws a punch, but goes down on the bank turn. Gets a skate. He's up again. Woodbury has O'Connell. O'Connell has Woodbury. Look out now. Knees in there by Woodbury. O'Connell trying to pick him up, I think. It's hard to get the leverage when you're on skates, though. There's O'Connell and Woodbury now. I wouldn't want to get anywhere near either one of these men. Oh! O'Connell held and measured him and let him have it.
O'Connell may get a major penalty and get thrown out.
Woodbury's going to leave of his own volition here, I think. O'Connell's trying to get at him. Let him go. Woodbury getting the punches in. On the infield, O'Connell down. coming up. Monty has him from behind. Here comes Pete Boyd into the middle of it. And he's grabbed by two officials.
You know, these two have a match race, Bob Woodbury and Charlie O'Connell, a week from Saturday at the Cow Palace, and I don't know if they're going to have anything left after that.
And Woodbury walks over here and just belted Jim Cook as he went by him. 35-34 is the score. The Red Devils lead by 1. There's Jim Cook, Charlie O'Connell, the trainer. Oh, man. This Red Devil team. You get a chance to see them go out, boy. There's going to be fireworks. (35-34), 7:50 to go in the game. Here we go, the next jam. 4 Bombers out there, 4 Red Devils. Tony Roman breaks away. Obviously, we're getting a whip here to Alfonso Reyes. So it's Tony Roman and Alfonso Reyes in pursuit. James Ball comes in the back receiver. Tony Roman and Roscoe. Here comes Alfonso Reyes. Look out. Down. Oh, he couldn't hold it. Now they'll try and score. Eliminated the Red Devil threat for the moment. Hey, did they sucker JoJo Stafford. Roman down. Gets up, cuts off the jam. 1 point Bombers, and that ties it up at 35-35.
O'Connell looks all right. He's just sitting in the penalty box down there, and perhaps he can even use the rest. I imagine he got a 2-minute penalty because he went out with almost 9 minutes to go, and there's about 6:50 to go now.
Woodbury back on the track. O'Connell now coming back on the track. So here we go again. Keep your eye on the big men.
And Ken Monty complaining about something over there. I think he thinks O'Connell should have gotten an additional minute. He doesn't want him out of the penalty box.
Here we go. Red Devil's a little late getting a blocker out there. Seaver is out on the jam. Bob Dansell in pursuit. Bob Johnson breaks away for the Red Devils. At the rear of the pack, O'Connell grabbed by Bob Woodbury. There they are, way back there. There they are. Here come the jammers. Picks up Woodbury and throws him over the rail. Woodbury is working on O'Connell. O'Connell just picked him up and threw him over the rail. O'Connell pins Bob Johnson on the rail. He was on the jam. Woodbury after O'Connell again. Hits him on the ear. Officials trying to untie him. O'Connell trying to punch over the back of his shoulder there, over his shoulder. It's a little hard to get anything into it.
Well, in a few minutes at the end of the game, you're going to be talking to Ken Monty.
O'Connell gets it from Ken Monty, and he ends up on the floor.
I don't think I'll say anything anymore.
Officials are keeping Woodbury back, and Monty saw an opening and came in there. Rainer out there working with Charlie O'Connell. We have 5:13 to go in the game. The Red Devils lead 36-35. They got a point on that play when O'Connell was passed. He picked up Woodbury. Here we go on the track. There are 5 Bombers out there. There's no penalty on O'Connell that time. Rowdy Gibson breaking away, number 17 for the Red Devils. Bombers can't get anybody out of there now. Now Tony Roman breaks away. 4:40 to go in the game. The Bombers treble 1. Speed merchant Tony Roman moving on Charlie Gibson. Ken Monty on the track, telling Gibson what to do. He shoved him into Monty, who then hooked him and put him down on the infield. Pete Boyd on the rail. Gibson picking up points in here. He has 2 at least. He has 3, and Woodbury slaughtering the Bombers out there. Clobbering them. 4 at least. Monty says 5. They took advantage of O'Connell's absence. Officials said 4. Monty said 5. It was 4. The Red Devils lead 40-35 now.
I don't know. When these two teams play each other, it seems like there's a game and a half. I have never seen a team as physical as the Red Devils, and that's every skater on the team. There's nobody that just coast by there.
Why don't you tell them about the mailing list, Jerry?
Well, if you'd like to get on the mailing list and receive special advance information about the next game in your area, write to Mailing List, P.O. Box 1828, Oakland, California, 94604.
O'Connell was grabbed by Woodbury and hit again. O'Connell trying to get set so he can fight back. He hasn't had a chance yet. Point for the Bombers. Woodbury still working on O'Connell, hammering away there. Now Pete Boyd has Woodbury. Woodbury has Pete Boyd. Take your pick. Stafford in there. O'Connell just grabbed Stafford, but he's so wobbly he can't do anything but hold him. O'Connell from sheer instinct grabbed him. Here's Woodbury over here decking Tony Roman now. Going after O'Connell right over the top of the trainer. Mallory trying to pull Woodbury off. There's Monty in there again. Again, O'Connell on the floor. Pete Boyd makes a grab for Monty, and Monty Woodbury both get out of there. Monty trying to stay away from Pete Boyd. Monty hiding behind a girl now. You know what happened in that play? Woodbury's illegal blocking. He was passed for a point, but he was called for a penalty before he was passed, so he couldn't be passed for a point. That helped the Red Devils out, his penalty. Now Pete Boyd decked by Woodbury, walked up behind him, kicked him and hit him.
I imagine Woodbury has enough penalties. He'll be out the rest of the game, but maybe O'Connell will be too. If O'Connell can recover, certainly the Bombers have a good chance here.
Well, they've destroyed this Bomber team here in this quarter. Completely destroyed him. Gilles Roscoe puts on the Pippin Owens. Bombers are hurting. Red Devils have 3 skaters out there. The Bombers have 4, but the Red Devils have the muscle. James Ball chasing Alfonso Reyes. 1:25 to go in the game, and it looks like the Red Devils have put one away here by physically destroying the Bomber team in this period. All is done that kills any Bomber threat. Any chance here in this game. Working on Jim Cook at the rear of the pack. 2 men. There's another point for the Red Devils, and they cut it off. 41 to 35 now. O'Connell's being taken to the dressing room by the trainer. He'll not be back. Monty wants to get Woodbury back on the track. Pete Boyd's in the penalty box for the Bombers. Completely destroyed here in the last few minutes. Physical team, the Red Devils. Woodbury back on the track.
Bombers' last shot here. They've got to get 2 jammers out if they've got any chance at all.
They've got Pete Boyd back on the track now. They've got 35 seconds to get a jammer out of there. If they don't, the game's over. If they do, they have a very slim chance, about 100 to 1. Dansell trying to get out the inside, the outside. He's out of there. This jam will go 60 seconds now unless the Red Devils
get...
And Mallory, they've got 2 men out. A wall set up across the track by the Bombers. Bob Woodbury back to the block at the rear of the pack. It's a 41-35 game. 10 seconds to go in the game, but there's 45 seconds left in the jam. The rule at the end of the first half and second half, it goes the full 60. Woodbury blocking back there. It's Dansell, it's Mallory. 35 seconds left. Game time is over. Seaver out on the jam for the Red Devils, trying to get up there and cut it off. Woodbury doing the job. Dansell gets it. He's down. Seaver passes Dansell. Mallory knows he's coming, has to take a shot at him. Seaver gets the lead, cuts it off. That's it. That's a game. That's a win for the Red Devils. Seaver getting up there, killed. A Bomber threat. So the final score in this game is the Red Devils 41, the Bay Area Bombers 35. We have with us Ken Monty, who was a great skating star for many years. He was a referee, he was a coach, he was a manager, he's been an executive. I don't think there's anything that this man hasn't been. Now he's taken on the added duties again as infield coach of the Red Devils. What prompted you to take that job with the Red Devils? You think they needed help?
I don't believe it needed help. It's just that it's awful hard to turn down such a tremendous team and to be a part of a team. And that's the main reason why I went with it. As you could see tonight, that the Bombers come up with this big reputation of destroying everybody in the league. And you can see the outcome of tonight's game, that the Red Devils come to skate, and they've proven that they can overcome anything with Charlie not even able to finish the game, just saying, take me back to the dressing room. I don't want to see Woodbury no more.
Well, I don't know if he really wanted to go. He was certain, Ken, but I have to admit that your team did physically sort of destroy the Bombers tonight.
Did you notice that it's not only the boys' field, but the girls, too? We're both physical teams, and that's really prompted me more or less come out of retirement and come back into the coaching ranks, because it's just a tremendous team. It's the Bombers had the reputation, and I just can't wait till we meet the Pioneers and the Chiefs and teams like that. We're gonna turn out and have one heck of a year.
Well, I know you brought a team in here that a lot of them are great names, and then there were names you looked at and said, well, who's this, you know? And yet again, when you saw them on the track, you found out who they were in a hurry.
That's right. We got just enough seasoning to where you've got the old timer out there, so to speak. Your Woodburys, your Calavellos, your Seavers, Rosetta Saunders. Not a newcomer by no means, but not an old timer neither. And then you've got all these kids that are being guided by these old experience, and you got that youth just keep coming at you, and that's proven it to where it helps Woodbury to the extent of they get tired of these kids coming, and Woody can then control it.
Well, of course, I don't know if you're going to succeed in every game against the Bombers destroying them, because they are skating, like you said, a rougher game right now. How about some of the other clubs? Take, for instance, the Pioneers. I know you have a series coming up with them. Are you looking forward to it?
I'm really looking forward to it. Cavello and Weston has always been a great match. Woodbury, I don't believe we'll have any problems against Robinson. At one time, they used to be teammates. Woody's come a long way since the two of them skated together. And I think Ronnie will underestimate Woodbury. And then they will no idea, especially after coming off a Bomber series and going against the Pioneers. These kids are going to get one heck of a lot of experience, and by the time we get to the Pioneers, I don't believe we'll have any problems at all.
Well, the Pioneers girls field is a big physical field too, you know, and Ronnie Robinson isn't the only man on that Pioneer team.
That's true. They've got some other boys, and then you got, like you said, Weston's a big girl, but you'll notice that we talked about Aloha Villanueva, a big girl, 240 pounds. We're bringing her along slow, and by the time our final series, by the final week here, you'll see Aloha Linda Villanueva coming into her own, and this will be the main purpose on a Joni Weston type of thing.
Good. Thanks a lot, Ken.
Thank you, Walt.
Ken Monty, infield coach of the Red Devils, who beat the Bay Area Bombers here 41-35. This Walt Harris speaking from Kezar Pavilion, Golden Gate Park in the city of San Francisco.